right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals for the Town of Groveland on Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. Is there a motion to open?
Make a motion to open the meeting.
A second? Second. All in favor? All right,
Aye.
away we go. First on the agenda today, continuation of application 2023-6 for 912 Salem Street, applicant Mark A. Aber. A public hearing in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, as amended for application 2023-6, made by Mark A. Aber for the premises located at 912 Salem Street, map 41, lot 095, in the Industrial 1, Residential 1, R1, and Residential R2 zoning districts, and owned by William T. Bryan III, for a special permit in accordance with Section 50.4.5 Table of Uses of the Groveland zoning bylaw for a contractor's yard. Andy, where are we with this one?
Right now, so at our last meeting, we had gone over the first draft of the decision that I had put together. We went over the findings as well as some of the special conditions for the permit. So after that meeting, I took it and made it more or less final. The only items that we have to really go over at this point are just the formal motion of the board to approve it, because at our November meeting, we motioned to close the public hearing. So we just need a formal motion to approve the application. And then because I need to still put that in the formatting, I'll do that at the end of the meeting, and I just ask you guys to stick around for 1 second to just give it a signature.
Did everyone have a chance to review? All right, so do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the application 2023-6 for 912 Salem Street, along with the conditions as printed.
There's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, motion passes. All right. Next, further discussion on 154 Center Street regarding enforcement taken against the property, or potential action, rather. So following the last meeting we discussed, and we went back to the attorney for some clarification on what her judgment on our statement had been.
Yes. So we had reached out to Donna, who is the attorney helping us with this. You can see that she did get dump trucks from me, so apologies. And as you can see, she notes that it doesn't really change her opinion, but that, it references the site plan that we had been looking at. Sorry, I didn't include that in your packet, but
No, it's
I can pull something up if you need me to, but
So basically, she's saying that she sees what we were saying, but her judgment still stands at what it was. All right, so with that said, is the board okay amending our letter to the applicant as such, and then pushing forward?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see that we have much choice.
Yeah, agreed. John?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
so sorry.
Do we need a motion on that, or?
If the board wants to formally endorse sending it out, I don't see an issue with that. So I just want to for the letter, I'll get it finalized tomorrow. I think just a couple things needed to be edited from
Right.
the original. So get that with her recommendations
Mhm.
and get it ready to go.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'll send it, I'll share it with you before I send it out.
So I'll make a motion to endorse the letter from the board to the applicant for 154 Center Street, outlining our understanding and concerns about going forward with our conditions originally outlined.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous? moving right along here. Annie, reviewing the new application format.
Yes, so nothing really new on this item. Again, I don't really know how the board wants to handle doing this. If it would be better if the board, not to give you some homework, but to go home and kind of take a red pen or, you know, whatever color pen and go through it and kind of just make notes as to what they think works, what they think doesn't, because I do think it's easier to start kind of from that to be able to have a conversation about it.
Agreed.
I can send out an actual blank copy of the application packet. Adobe just won't let me send a application packet or an application that's filled out and an empty one in the same document for some reason. But if the board wants to do that, I think that would be a good way to start. I did more or less pull this from Georgetown's zoning board and changed it to, be more reflective of our needs and whatnot. One thing I know John had mentioned at the last meeting when we were taking a look at this was the certified plot plan that is on the application checklist. I do think, it would make sense for the board to start thinking about scenarios where that's necessary versus when it's not. So, for example, 6 Union Street that we had that variance for a detached in-law apartment a few months ago, that's a scenario where we certainly want to see a certified plot plan.
Right.
Because we're talking about a variance, which,
So we just need a line of delineation there as far as what does and what doesn't. and-
yeah, because, it can really, it can depend, for a use that hasn't been, or a building that has been used in a long time, you might want it for, it really depends if the planning board's not doing a review of it, so, things like that.
Right.
But I think the most helpful thing right now would for the board to kind of take a red pen to this and tear it up.
I think in terms of the certified plot plan, it could be something as simple as saying, if needed, and if you're unsure whether it's needed, check with you.
Yeah.
And because I just don't think it should be like a requirement, especially for someone who's just coming in before us
Mhm.
to, talk about business hours for their business or something. That's,
Yeah, agreed.
would be overkill. But there are, obviously, there are a lot of times when we would prefer having a plot plan and I think it would be more than appropriate, so. I had a question about, the back of the first page. You have the sections as blanks there. Chapter 50 sections, such and such.
Yes.
And what would that be referring to?
One example for that would be, to just quote the 6 Union Street again, they were asking for a variance from the accessory dwelling unit because that needs to be attached. So that's a variance that they would fill in. They would fill in that section. Another one could
But
be,
That, you're looking for a number there, right? That it's referring to our zoning bylaws?
yeah,
And so they would have to go into our zoning bylaws and figure out which number that they're referencing?
they should know how to do that. 100%.
Just because it's not on the current.
Correct. Oh, I know.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the reasons why our current one is, it's missing a lot of information that I
Wanted
think,
to understand
oh,
the rationale behind it.
yeah, my rationale with kind of redoing the whole thing is that when I look at this application, I'm left having so many questions about what I'm looking at, that this application that we're putting together is going to be longer, but it will save everyone headache and back and forth moving forward. But yeah, it is.
I mean, you're the person who is the expert in terms of the information you need to
Yeah.
process an application versus what our current form in pretty good hands that this is your best effort in rectifying the two.
Okay.
I'm not sure I'm qualified to say, you know, other than to ask questions like,
Yeah.
like, why is this on here? But
Yeah.
to go through it, I'm not gonna be able to, you know, give you any red lines or anything, because I assume you put it in the new form because you need it.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yes.
I kind of feel too, like, if you go with a new form and you get one or two back after some time, and you're finding like, oh, you know, I forgot
Yeah.
this or something, just come back here and.
Some
yeah,
guinea
and you
pigs.
approve it, and sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you, outside of us looking through the information when we're dealing with a special permit, I feel like, you know, the burden is on you as
Mhm.
the administrator to, you know, make sure that you have all the information and whatever you need to get that done. That's a tool.
Yeah.
Right.
That, you know, I feel like I don't really have anything more to say about like the draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys want to, you know, take more time with it, because I know that you've been presenting this to us at multiple meetings. This is probably the third month that
Maybe.
you've given it to us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I've gone through it as well, and I haven't found anything that I would want to change or think doesn't belong there. Or
other than, I just noticed on the front page, now why does it say print out and handwrite? Wouldn't we want this fillable on a PDF form? If possible?
Yes, part of the issue with doing fillable documents is the signature part of it. We had thought about using DocuSign for things like this, but another issue with that is people think it's submitted once they DocuSign it, but that we need the town clerk stamp to make it official. So there's that, and then there's also, I mean, this hasn't happened in Groveland, but I know, you know, people can manipulate PDFs and things like that. But I think ideally this would be fillable, and regardless, I mean, our current form is fillable.
That's why I
Yeah.
was noticing, like, but we still require someone to come in and sign it.
Yeah.
Like, on the back, like, they still have to print it out, but at least they can type it all in on the computer. They're not like,
Yeah.
hand printing it. You're gonna get all kinds of difference in legibility and readability if
Mhm.
trying to, you know, write it out by hand, because some people's handwriting is atrocious. So.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to remove that, and
And you can just make sure it says, like, you cannot submit this electronically or whatever. I think you
Yeah.
have all the information.
Yeah.
Out there, actually, because they have to submit payment too.
yes.
I mean, the form isn't gonna be acted upon until we have payment anyway, so. So that would be my only other feedback.
Okay. Yeah, I think, so if, unless anyone has any final comments, they feel free to send me an email, give me a call, stop in and let me know, and for the next meeting, I can have the final draft for the board to approve, because the board will need to approve a new
Yeah.
version.
Right. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
You had made mention that you had gone over some of this with Sam.
Yes. Yes, Sam and I did go over this just as, because he's the zoning enforcement officer and has worked in other communities as well. And he had a couple comments. I think I had already addressed them by the time I got them to you. But I'll touch base with him to make sure that's accurate.
All right, so look forward to that. All right, rolling right into town planner update. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over minutes. Just to make sure we're keeping to the agenda here. All right, has everyone had a chance to review? All right,
So I'll make a motion that we approve the zoning board of appeals minutes for Wednesday, September 20th, 2023.
Second?
all right, there's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, minutes approved. Now, town planner update. Amy, what you got?
Well, fast forward tonight.
I know. Nothing.
That was a- that-
The
Reed, that was a
only,
dramatic pause for nothing.
I know, I'm sorry. The only one little thing I have is Sam, at the last meeting, someone had asked for Sam to go out and take a look at 154 Center Street's sign to see if it was in compliance, and it is.
Okay, perfect. Super. All right.
That's all she wrote.
Are there any other items not reasonably anticipated?
Nada.
Any other board discussion? All right, and our next meeting's February 7th, 2024. Be there or be square. All right. I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:45.
My second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks. Have a good night.